Jambo, Sanibonani, Bawoni, Salaam. Welcome to Inside Afrika. Thomas Isidore Noel Sankara was a Burkina military officer, Marxist revolutionary and Pan-Africanist who served as president of Burkina Faso from his bloodless coup in 1983. He is often referred to as Africa's Che Guevara due to his charismatic leadership style and his commitment to socialist and anti-imperialist principles. Now let's look at why the French despised this great African leader. 1. Anti-imperialist stance. Thomas Sankara was known for his strong anti-imperialist rhetoric and actions. He pursued policies that aimed to reduce Burkina Faso's dependence on foreign powers, including France. This stance could have been perceived as a challenge to France's influence in its former colonies and led to tension between Sankara's regime and France. 2. Nationalization of resources. Sankara's government nationalized key industries and resources in Burkina Faso, which potentially affected French economic interests in the country. French companies may have lost out on business opportunities and investments as a result of these policies. 3. Foreign policy alignment. Sankara pursued a foreign policy that sought alliances with non-Western countries and international movements. He cultivated relationships with countries like Libya and Cuba, which were not in alignment with Western interests. This could have been seen as undermining France's influence in the region. 4. Socialist ideology. Sankara's socialist policies and emphasis on wealth redistribution could have been perceived as a threat to the interests of Western capitalists and multinational corporations, including those with ties to France. 5. Impact on French businesses. Some of Sankara's policies, such as promoting self-sufficiency and locally produced goods, might have impacted French companies' access to the Burkina market, potentially causing economic tensions. 6. Security concerns. The revolutionary nature of Sankara's government, as well as his alignment with certain international movements, might have raised concerns about regional stability and security for both Burkina Faso and neighboring countries, which could have indirectly affected French interests. It's worth noting that France's approach to African nations during the Cold War and in the years after decolonization often involved maintaining influence in former colonies for economic, political, and strategic reasons. Sankara's policies challenged the status quo and posed potential challenges to French interests in the region. This therefore meant overlords France had to get rid of Sankara in any way. France of course to this day refutes any involvement in Sankara's assassination. Recently, Burkina Faso asked France to send over any military archive they have on Sankara so they can get a better understanding of what happened. Now, let's try to understand how Sankara was killed. On the 15th of October 1987, the leader of the Burkinabe Revolution was assassinated. Let's look at how that day unfolded. Alain Traoré, who the day before had left on a fact-finding mission in Cotonou, begins his report. I left Ouagadougou the day before yesterday at 6 p.m. He stops, his voice suddenly muffled by the sound of a most likely a pierced exhaust pipe from an approaching car. Shocked and annoyed, Sankara asks, "What is that noise?" soon joined by Saba, who frowns, "What is that noise?" The noise gets louder. A car, the Peugeot 504 or a covered Toyota, says the only direct witness who survived. The car stopped in front of the small gate of the villa. Immediately, the noise of the engine was covered by the roar of Kalashnikov shots. The 7 men gathered in the room flat on the floor, hiding behind the armchairs. Among them, the only one to be armed since his guards remained in the corridor or in the garden, was Sankara, who grabs his gun which he had placed on the table, within reach. From outside, someone shouts, "Get out! Come out!" Sankara gets up, sighs loudly and orders his counselors, "Stay. Stay. It's me they want." He leaves the meeting room with his hands in the air. He had barely stepped out of the door before he was shot, says Alain Traoré. The attackers had come to kill. Looking over his shoulder, he sees Thomas Sankara on the floor. 2 shots to the head immediately killed him. He hears someone shouting, "There is one who isn't dead." The one in blue. Let him get up. Aluna Traore, the man in a blue tracksuit, stands up. Burkina Faso has set up a Truths and Reconciliation Council, but still, no one has fully owned up to the assassination. By the sounds of it, there are many stakeholders involved, and for that reason they do not want to get implicated. This was a very sad moment for a lot of Africans, and Sankara was a beacon of hope. He once said, "While revolutionaries as individuals can be murdered, you cannot kill ideas." And now, it looks like Captain Ibrahim Traore is here to finish off what Sankara started. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Let us know down below who you think was solely to blame for Sankara's assassination. This is Inside Africa.